Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making vegan enchiladas and I'm showing you how I do it. For the ingredients you need tomato sauce. You can just get a can if you want. I have an old can that I had tomato sauce that I put some herbs in it, some flour, all-purpose flour, organic all-purpose flour, and 3 cans of beans. Now these beans are pretty simple. They have black beans, water, and salt, and that's it. No funny stuff in there. And you also need some spices. So I'm going to be using the spices that I have in my cupboard, which you can use whatever you have. I'm going to have oregano, some onion, cumin, paprika, and chili powder that I'm going to put in this dish. Of course, I'm going to use some salt in my little dispenser here. So those are all the ingredients that I'm going to be using, and herbs that I'm going to be using as well. So we're going to be making the tortillas from scratch. I put 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I put 2/4 cups of water. I put an extra 1/4 cup of water here, but it was a little bit too soft. I think I didn't realize I put an extra 1/4 of a cup of water, but it still works, so just know that you can do 3/4 a cup or 2/4 a cup. After you mix the dough, you go ahead and you separate them to at least 6 or 7 little pieces like you saw me do. And then you just put more flour down and you go ahead and roll it by hand with your rolling pin. Putting flour on your rolling pin also helps the dough not stick to the rolling pin. So you just roll it as the best you can in a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect shape. It doesn't have to be too big either. And while you're shaping your tortillas or tortillas, go ahead and get a cast iron skillet or any pan and get it hot. So when you do put the dough on it, like you see here, you flip it after a minute or two just to see if it has those brown spots that you see. It will be ready to go in a few minutes. Multitasking, so while I'm waiting for my tortilla to be cooked, I just go ahead and keep making more of them. And when it's finally done, you'll know, like I said, you'll see some of those brown spots that's nice and soft, as you see here. Real good looking tortilla there. And you just keep making those. You can make, like I said, about 6 or 7 of them, just like. And when you're done, you have a good amount of tortillas for your enchiladas. Look how soft they are. They bend quite nicely. Their color looks great. I didn't burn them, so I think you'll have the same result too if you just follow the recipe. Now we're making the enchiladas. So I put some oil on a pan and I prep my onion. I just cut it up in little pieces. Try to chop it as much as you can just because you don't want big chunks of onion in your enchiladas. So chop it up and put that in the pan of oil. Now I add at least a tablespoon of minced garlic to my onions. I wait till my onions are at least translucent when I put the garlic, and I just mix it in. I took off my jacket because I was getting hot in the kitchen. Now I put all 3 cans of black beans into the skillet, and of course be careful, the pan is hot. And just do that. Add each and every can with the liquid and all. That's how it looks, all mixed up. Now I'm going to add my spices. I'm going to add some oregano, and I'm going to add some paprika and chili powder to my sauce. I'm not going to do onion powder just because I have onion already in there. So I put about a tablespoon of each. Since I don't measure, I just use my mason jars and sprinkle on top. But like I said, it's about a tablespoon each. And I actually added some cumin, and I would say about a teaspoon of cumin. But everything else, parsley, oregano, chili powder, paprika, all about a tablespoon. And last but not least, I grabbed the cumin. And that's how it looks, all mixed together. I go ahead and I let it sit there and cook for at least 10 minutes until it starts boiling. So about 10 minutes later, it's boiling and the beans look pretty soft. Then I'll go ahead and add my tomato sauce and incorporate that. It will cool down a little bit as the tomato sauce is cooler, but I just keep mixing it in and let it cook for a good 5 to 7 minutes after. You'll see the beans look really soft, and that's when you know the mixture is done. And when you see the sauce thicken a little bit, we're ready for the next step. And that is to get a cauldron and put it over a bowl. And go ahead and be careful because it's really hot. Lift and pour the bean mixture. And the whole point of this is to get the enchilada sauce, which is the sauce that's within the bean. So I go ahead and I strain the bean. So you just move the beans within the strainer, and you want to have only beans left. So remove as much of the liquid or sauce as you can. That's why it's good to have a strainer that is at least will fit in the bowl, so this process can be easy. And as you can tell now, I'm kind of just left with the bean mixture, which is my filling for my tortillas. And there is our enchilada sauce. Now we're ready to fill the tortillas. Go ahead and get a glass pan, and I put some of the enchilada bean sauce, as you can call it, I guess, enchilada bean sauce, onto the pan first before I start adding so we get the first tortilla and a big scoop or a good sized scoop of bean mixture, and then I'll put some cheese in the middle. I've also added spinach or any type of green, lettuce. I've added different types of vegetables inside with the beans, but just for this video, the most simplest thing I do for this recipe is just a big scoop of beans. Here I'm just adding a little bit more enchilada sauce, and then a good handful of cheese right in the middle. Now the rolling doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, I'm not, perfect rolling it, but I go ahead and just keep on filling the pan with all my tortillas. I go ahead and position them. I'm about 6 of them. I put whatever beans that I have left with sauce and cheese, and I just layer it that way. If I have some enchilada sauce left, just pour some in the middle, and I'll preheat my oven to 350, and I'll cook it for about 20 minutes. And that's how it looks right out of the oven. It's all melted. The cheese looks so good with the beans and tortillas. Now when it comes to cheese, you can also use dairy-free cheese, which will make it vegan. It's up to you. But this recipe is for everybody. Alright, let's go ahead and dig into this bean enchilada, I would say. It's really a big fan favorite for my family. It's super easy to do, pantry meal, and I just can't get enough of it. So good. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay well, friends.